Given everything you know about this whole situation tonight, sir, was it the right call?
Well, I think there's a lot of things to consider in a situation like this, and certainly there's going to be a number of people critiquing from all directions. And in this profession, I think we have to welcome that. We have to embrace that. It's part of what we do, and if those critiques aren't coming, then we're out there doing things that maybe we shouldn't be. In this situation, I can tell you that it escalated very quickly, and the subject who had the gun refused to obey commands from the officer who was giving those commands, telling him to put it down. He had multiple opportunities to put the gun down and walk away, and he didn't. The situation is exacerbated by the fact that he then gets very close to some businesses that are occupied by several hundred people. At some point, we have to take an action. And if we don't take an action, we certainly don't know what the individual is going to do, but we can't allow him to get to the point where he enters the office complex. We can't allow him the opportunity to take somebody who's in the parking lot hostage to do a carjacking or something of that nature. So I'll grant you 100%. In fact, when I watched the video for the first time, I had the same reaction you did. It's graphic, it's violent. But at the same token, it warranted deadly force given all of the circumstances. We would have been completely justified in shooting the individual. So the use of force that's utilized by this officer, and he does a great job, quite frankly, of articulating the thought process and why he did what he did. And it put an end to this guy's crime spree.
No, and I understand. I mean, I hear you loud and clear. I've talked to a lot of police officers. I know the priority is the safety of the people in the community, in the surrounding area, and even potentially his own safety. According to some reports, he was pointing this loaded rifle at himself. I do find some of the reaction from some of the officers newsworthy. Let me play something else. This is a different perspective, a different patrol car. Before you see the actual car hitting him, you hear this officer anticipate it and react. Take a listen.
Unit right there, just stand off, The gun is loaded. Unit on Latero Farm, stay off.
I mean, you're hearing him saying, stay off, and then you hear the officer say, oh, Jesus Christ. He says, man down. Two questions for you tonight, and then I've got to let you go, Chief. One, what other methods could your officers have taken as opposed to using a patrol car? And two, has anything happened to this officer?
Sure. First of all, to clarify, the officer that's speaking there is not speaking to the officers behind him. He doesn't even know the officers behind him. He's speaking to an officer who's down at the end of the street, telling him not to come any closer because the subject has a .30-30 rifle, which is a high-powered rifle. So he's not talking to that officer. And yeah, it took him by surprise because he didn't know the officer was behind him and didn't know the officer was going to take that action. So absolutely, the officer was shocked in that situation. As far as other things that we could have done, yeah, you can Monday morning quarterback, and we certainly have the benefit. And, not being a patrol officer anymore, I have the benefit of sitting in my office or, sleeping on things to make those kinds of decisions. This officer made a split-second decision. And in retrospect, when all the dust clears, I think we look at this and say, yeah, there's things that we can learn from this, but the entire community is safe. All the officers are safe, and even the suspect in this case is safe.
That's right.